Okay, everybody, we are back. We're about to start with the semifinals. So, waiting on Joe. Looks like Casey is going to be taking the Paul Myers versus Kieran game. I want to thank everybody who helped out the streaming so far today. If you would like to stream or do commentary, let me know. I'll be looking for people to help. We're still giving away a t-shirt today, so if you want to enter for that, go ahead and just send an email to the link as you can see above. I will actually minimize that a little bit. And just still waiting on Chris and Joe. Casey is currently streaming again the Paul Myers versus Kieran game. So for those who were following or weren't following, Joe Olson is the lone top 4 to advance. He'll be facing Chris Kelly, who beat Jared Napolitano. Yeah, yeah, believe me, I'm really excited for that, Ryan. Uh, and then we saw Bastion lose to Paul Myers and Justin Desai lose to Kieran. So yeah, I'm good to go, Chris. So I'm just waiting on Joe. If anybody would like to join me, let me know. And I can get you on to do commentary. So again, we will have a big announcement today during the Worlds, the finals. So make sure you turn into that. Again, we're going to be doing the T-shirt giveaway. The winners will be drawn before the finals, so right after the semifinals. So right after these 2 games. Again, if you want to enter, just send me an email over to the email above right here. And it looks like our players are ready. So here we go. Chris Kelly versus Joe Olson. Hunt Down V versus HITCO. It's going to be amazing. No, it should be a good game. These players are playing really, really well. Again, Joe playing really well. Chris playing extremely well. Both players were undefeated after day 1. And here we go. Okay, we're starting off with Joe deciding to go with Dark Side first. He is playing Hunt Down V. Here's the I Am Your Father, the Inquisitor effect. He starts with the Hoss site with SSA, and there's the security precautions. Chris going with HITCO again. An all foil HITCO, apparently, so that's always cool. There is the start. He is starting Twilight is Upon Me, the Luke effect, and I Must Be Allowed to Speak. So he's going to be able to get the... so he's not going with Walkling. That's a little bit different. A little bit of banters between our 2 players. Both of them are extremely familiar with each other. Okay, so both players pulling out their grabbers. Joe also pulling out streaker plans. Again, Chris is going with he's not going with Walkling, but he is starting I Must Be Allowed to Speak, so he'll have the farm out, and he'll be able to drain. That's another battleground, so it's also a little bit more activation. He also said in the chat that he was anticipating Bastion Uh, I'm going to say this. I don't think anybody anticipated when Bastion was playing for Darkseid. That Cloud City deck was really interesting. I liked it. I really did. I would have loved to have seen that a little bit more, but yeah, I that is good. Yeah, that is pretty accurate there, Ryan. That is, I think that is definitely going to come into play. I will say this in our other matchup, being currently being streamed on Casey Enos's channel, Diplo versus Hunt Down V. I'm not really familiar with that matchup, so if anybody wants to give a little insight on that, that would be great. This one, I think everybody is familiar with at this point. Joe activating, getting out the Malachor site. Let's see if he decides to go out and get a Vader with the castle. If not, he'll lose to Visage's turn. Yesterday was a blur for me, Chris, so I really don't remember. Okay, there's the Vader. Darth Vader Enforcer going down. He does pull the Vader. And he will take a saber. One interesting note is if Joe just decides to leave the Vader there, he can move around with the Vader, seeing what Chris does. He can be a little bit reactive. So we'll see what Joe decides to do. He does pull a Dark Jedi lightsaber. Yeah, a lot of people are playing out of commission combos to cancel the Visage. I think that's a smart move. Joe will move over to Hoth, setting himself up for a nice little drain of 3 next turn. Let's see what Chris wants to do about that. Joe plays Weapon of the Sith, so that way a little bit of protection against anything to steal that Vader's lightsaber. Yeah, I guess Bastion is saying on Slack, for those who aren't on Slack, please get on it. It's a great way of communicating between players and everything. He said that 6 out of the 7 players played HITCO or Legend today, and he was well prepared. Apparently, he got placed in the only player who wasn't playing HITCO or Legend, and that's what pretty much... Oh, well. There's the farm by Chris. It does look like it is the non-V. It is, yeah, he does deploy it from hand, so... Again, a little bit of banter between our players. I like to see that. Yoda coming down to the JCC. He does pull Yoda from the JCC, so Yoda coming down. There is a do or do not shield for Chris. Chris also initiates a escape pod to pull out his Hojix. There's the Hojix. Probably going to see him move the Yoda this turn. If he does move Yoda to Malachor or to Tatooine, to the Moisture Farm, that would flip Joe back. Yoda's just going to stick around there, and Chris has to lose one. So he's going to lose a Hera from his reserve deck. So probably going to see Joe drain and then just draw a few cards. There's a battle plan from Chris. Give a little bit of protection from that drain. Not really. It's just going to make Joe pay 3. Yeah, if there wasn't luck involved... if there wasn't luck involved, this game would be 100% different. Not going to throw insult to injury, but we saw a little bit of luck earlier in a game with Kieran and Justin. I'm not going to get more into that. You can watch the stream. It was pretty evident as to what I'm getting to in game 2. So here we go. Drain. Chris is going to lose from reserve deck. I think I can handle myself. A Jedi Resilience and a Padme. Padme's the big one here. Maybe Chris currently doesn't have any Force saved, and Joe does have the secret plans out, so he can't get the Padme out right now. Joe probably wants to make it so that Padme is well buried. There's the luck that Chris Gogolin was talking about. Chris losing cards from his reserve deck and loses a Padme, so kind of a big card to lose there. I mean, from what I understand, she's really good against Darth Vader. Okay, we move on to Chris's turn. Joe activated Drain and drew up to 14. And there's Luke. Joe will now flip back. Luke going down to the farm. Oh, I mean, semantics. Justin. Okay, there's a use pile pool. Yeah, this is a little bit interesting. Like, this is not your normal HITCO that we're seeing from Chris Kelly. And probably going to see a Saber here. I think with the Saber pool, and this is definitely favoring Joe at this moment, just based on the board setup. Joe's going to be able to drain for 4 this turn. So, yeah, I would agree. 2 Padme seems pretty good, being that right now 3 out of the 4 players are playing Hunt Down V. The only person who's not is Paul. Paul's looking really good with his deck choices for this weekend. Just based on the meta and everything, yeah, I mean, you're looking pretty good with Diplo. But we'll see what happens. He is playing a Hunt Down V. He's playing Kieran right now. So we'll see what happens in that match. Okay, Chris has decided on his card. Let's see if he pulls the Saber with Like My Father Before Me. And there's the Saber pool. Chris deciding not to do anything against that Vader, instead throwing Luke over to Tatooine. We might see Chris look for a Virgins in the Force. That would be a really good card in this matchup. Right now, Joe is forced to drain for 3 at the Haas site. So if he has the Virgins of the Force, playing it here would save him a lot of damage in the long run. Okay, and here he goes. He's going to draw a few cards. So he moves Yoda over to with Luke. It's a nice little bit of power over there. Draws up to 12. Saves himself some 3 cards left in his force pile. Oh, no, he's going to draw another card. Let's see if he saves any cards in his force pile this turn. Oh, there's an Anakin Skywalker. So Anakin's going to move over to Tatooine. I don't like this play here. It does show me that he doesn't have the Virgins in the Force, but the Prophecy's going to move. I mean, I know it's going to save him 1 card, but the Prophecy's going to move back, so he's not going to be able to get the drain bonus from it next turn. And Chris will lose a Run Luke Run from his hand. Joe's going to activate. He activates 10. He'll drain for 3. Now, Chris might still have the Virgins in the Force. There goes another Anakin Skywalker from Chris's hand. An inconsequential barriers. And Ahsoka Tano. And the prophecy moves. Let's see if Chris has the Virgins of the Force. Action is on Joe, so no, Chris does not have the Virgins in the Force. Probably maybe 2. I could see 2 gifts to the mentors. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of gifts to the mentors. Virgins, I say. Is it Virgins? Vengeance? What is it? R. Singh coming down. So Joe is not running the Imperial Enforcement variant of Hunt Down V. He's going with a more good character version. I'm not a big fan of the Imperial Enforcement version. I like R. Singh. I like P-59. I like good cards. I like Dengar with his blaster rifle, or his blaster carbine, shooting twice and drawing a destiny against Watch Your Step. So, Jerry, you're a good man. I love it. Also, that sounds a little on the... You're getting emotional, man. You're going to make me tear. I will say this. So, for the finals, we are looking to have a 3-man team. We still have 2 shirts to give away. I see that Scotland Grill, the man, the myth, the legend, is currently in our chat. Scott, come on, man. You hype up the t-shirts. We got 2 to give away. Okay, so there is the drain from Chris. He does activate. He drains. Joe loses a 9th sister from his hand. He loses a force push from his reserve deck. The prophecy does move. And he's going to use the prophecies once per game text to retrieve an Anakin Skywalker into his hand. Okay, he's going to attempt to deploy a farm, but I believe the farm is already there, so he's just checking his destiny. Scott is in the chat, so he could easily comment on that, Chris. Joe saying in the chat I guess he needs to kill that Luke, because Chris is running 12. But again, a little bit of back and forth between our players. I like to see that. I like to see these are 2 players who are really well versed on it with each other. They're always on the Slack chat, talking, chatting, giving a little bit of back and forth. Chewie coming down. So if you went in on the shirt, if you look in the top right of the Twitch channel of our Twitch stream, that's how you enter. You just send an email with your Twitch handle over to that, and then right after the semifinals complete, I will be live on camera to pick our winners. Again, there's 2. This is Chris Kelly. I mean, we don't know. Jin Urso coming down to block the drain at the Hawk's defensive perimeter. I'm going to assume Joe has some sort of answer for that, be it a Isard a Sniper Dark Strike, maybe an Emperor coming down and Force Lightning her away. But I'm assuming that he's got some sort of answer. In the meantime, though, Chris will place a card onto his Force pile, has 2 cards saved, and then he'll simply lose to Visage and pass turn. And let's see what he loses to Visage. I don't think anybody's ever DQ'd there, Ryan Saracen. Chris will lose a meditation from his reserve deck. He lost the new meditation. There's the Sniper Dark Strike. Vader will point. He spots out Jin. He swings. He draws a 4, so Jin's going to be hit. And a 4. So, yep, she's definitely hit. On top of getting hit, he's going to have to lose 1 to I Am Your Father. He loses a Help Me Obi-Wan Kenobi and Quite a Mercenary. So he loses that to the I Am Your Father ping. Jin goes away, and he's going to take a drain of 3 there. Jin does check out Joe's hand, though. Apparently, Chris likes what he sees. There's a drain of 2. Uses the lightsaber to add 1. And now Chris has to take 3 Forces to the Lost pile. There goes a Perimeter Scan, a Rescue in the Clouds, and a Rescue in the Clouds, all from his reserve deck. The Prophecy moves. And we go into Joe's deploy phase. Joe is only activating 11 each turn, so he doesn't have a lot of force with, as he's draining each turn, so he's spending 3 to drain, and he's only getting 11. So I mean, he's only got 8 force to work with. I mean, he does have a 13 card hand though. There was a no escape. He's able to take that Sniper Dark Strike back into his hand. So, using all those 14 cards in his hand to his advantage. Joe will initiate a masterful move to pull a Monarch. Not a card that we've seen a lot lately. Chris in response will play Clumsy and Stupid. This will slightly protect. So Clumsy and Stupid basically says if Monarch reveals cards from your hand, you can put 2 back into your use pile. This is the problem with HITCO, and I've been saying this since like set 13 came out. It doesn't have the ability to really respond. With Darkseid, again, even Hunt Down V doesn't have the ability to respond as well, but Darkseid has pretty good characters to come down with and respond with. I mean, those Inquisitors are really good. So with Luke at one location, you're essentially taking away your best character when you know Darkseid has a few other good characters besides Vader. And just briefly checking up on our other match. It looks really close right now. Paul Myers currently has 28 cards in Life Force. Kieran currently has 31. Paul's going to be putting a lot of cards on the table in both of his games. He's playing IE and Diplo. Kieran is playing, I believe, well, I should know this. He's playing HITCO and Hunt Down V, so. Okay, but we move into Chris Kelly's turn. He will activate. He spends 3 to drain for 2 at the farm. Now, as long as Chris is doing what he's doing right now, he's not mitigating any of the damage that Joe is throwing at his face. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I think the farm is a good choice against IE. It's a good play against CCT, as Sebastian just pointed out in the chat. Okay, Ray going down to Malachor. Now, Chris will occupy 2 battlegrounds. Yeah, and I don't think anybody saw you losing to Paul Bastion. Okay, and Chris will pass turn, so he's just got Ray down at Malachor. He is threatening a drain of 4 next turn, so I expect Joe to do something against that. But again, Joe is only going to be activating 10. Joe's going to play a Weemop to get a Weemop back. And Chris is drawing. But there he goes. He's going to put a card back, protecting himself from the Monarch. And he loses a Luke from a hand, so there's a Luke in the lost pile. There is a drain of 3 at the Hoth site, bringing Chris up to 18 in the lost pile. There goes an Anakin. A Sorry About the Mess non-combo. And a Help Me Obi-Wan from the reserve deck. So he's playing 2 Help Me Obi-Wan Kenobis. I guess he was expecting to face Bastion in the semifinals, or at least even in the quarterfinals. Playing 2 of those. There is the bridge from Joe, so he's got a little bit more force to work with now. He's still got 10 cards left in his force pile, so expecting something to come down against that Ray. I know Kieran runs both as well in his Hunt on V, so. Yeah, and he's got both on table. Man, Bill should just pay attention more. Stop having those afternoon alcoholic beverages there, Bill. Spending too much time in the Air Force. This is okay. Still in Joe's deploy phase. Let's see if again he's got. I think he's got to do something here against that Ray. I mean, it's not detrimental. It would be only a drain of 2 and 2. Okay, but yeah, he's going to come down against the Ray. There, he drops the 7th sister. Uses his Inquisitor effect to possibly make Chris lose a card, or he's going to cancel Ray's game text. Chris will lose a card. He loses Leia Rebel Princess. Yeah, Chris was really decked out for CCT. I like it. Leia Rebel Princess, good card. But there is an even better card out there that really stops her. Well, at least her canceling of a Force Drain. Okay, so let's see if Joe decides to drop something else besides the 7th sister. First thing he's going to do is he is going to check his destiny, though. Yes, Dash Pure. No, wait, Dash Pure doesn't do anything against Leia Rebel Princess. Right. God, Ryan. You're wrong again. I wasn't even. I'm not even referring to Tarkin's Bounty. I'm talking about Das Pure V. Come on, man. And Tarkin's Bounty isn't even a good card. It's Tarkin's Bounty V that's the good card. Okay, so again, Joe checked his deck. He's deciding on what to do. Both players are still over 35 minutes on time, so still got a lot of time to work with. Yes, again, yep, Justin, you are correct. Still in, so we move into the battle phase. Just got a lone 7th sister against that Ray, so you got to think that Joe is thinking, do I want to battle here? First thing he's going to do is he's going to use the 7th sister's game text to to draw a card from the reserve deck. Gives him a little bit of card advantage here. And we have the battle. Okay, Ray will fire at the 7th sister. He draws a 3 for Destiny. And a 4. That's going to hit her. So he will be able to retrieve one here. Up, that's her Lana Dobry combo, so she still has some forfeit. Okay, there's a retrieval from Chris. He retrieves the Leia Rebel Princess. And a Clash of Sabers. So nothing. So that battle is now ended. Ray retrieved one, and Chris will be able to drain for 2 there now. Grabs an ultimatum, showing that he wants to try and satisfy for that for next turn. There is another battleground on the table. It is the Endor Village, the Ewok Village, so he's going to try and go there to mitigate some damage against the drain of 3 from Joe. Joe loses the Monarch, so making Chris a little bit of a bluff out there. Chris is at 6 cards in hand, so losing the Monarch, not terrible for Joe. Okay, here we go. Drain of 2 at Malcor. Joe will lose the surface defense from his hand, as well as, Grand Inquisitor from his deck. Plays a Weemop, so he can take a Weemop. And Chris will grab the Weemop. Interesting. Not the card I would think he grabbed, but he did. And there's the drain of 2 at the farm. Okay, Joe will lose a force field from his deck, and we must accelerate our pens from the hand. Chris will put a card onto Like My Father Before Me, so we're probably going to see him go over to the Ewok Village here, or maybe he'll want to just go over to the Death Star 2 Chasm Walkway. And there's an Obi-Wan going down to the Ewok Village. Okay, Chris will draw a few cards, and his turn. He loses a Luke's lightsaber from his deck. I don't think that's a bad loss of a card. Okay, so now Chris occupies 3 sites, so that drain would only be a drain of 2 at the defensive perimeter. But I think if you're Joe, you still want to drain just to keep the pressure on Chris. Joe is ahead, so And there is the drain at the hot defensive perimeter. Chris will lose a escape pod combo and a Leia Rebel Princess. He loses the escape pod combo from his hand. Prophecy of Force moves. And there's a Tarkin's Bounty coming onto Vader, so he'll be able to take a card into his hand. Let's see if Joe will let us know what the card that he took is. Okay, Joe down by almost 8 minutes now on Chris. Still a lot of time in this game for both players. Bill, the only problem with Reflections 3 going away is what happens to all the shields? R3 is Reflections 3. Oh, God. So Joe has made his decision on what card he wants. Okay, another Seventh Sister coming down in front of Rey. There was a bunch. I want to say we at least had 15. So, Seventh Sister comes down in front of Rey. Chris will lose a card. He loses a Luke from his reserve deck. So, unless Chris has some tricks here, Rey should go away. And Mara Jade coming down as well. So, I really hope Chris has a Hojix here. Lightsaber coming down onto the Seventh Sister. Actually, no, the surprise announcement that I have is Chris Kelly, if he loses and doesn't make it to the finals, he's going to retire as the design advocate. And the next design advocate will be decided by Sabak. Here we go. A battle initiated by Joe. Joe will fire Mara Jade's lightsaber at Rey. Rey will be hit. Actually, no. The next announcement is Scott will be sending everyone a nice big Christmas gift. People are going to be getting their own special design foil V card slip. Uh, After hitting Ray, Joe will play Sniper Dark Strike, so Ray goes away. Joe does lose a. We must accelerate our plans to play the card. So now Ray is off the table, so Chris has only been doing 3 points of damage. No. I will say this. The announcement's going to be pretty exciting, so if you're not pumped and you're not foreseeing something cool coming up, you're wrong. I'm excited. This is probably the most excited I've been for Star Wars CCG, so just saying. So we pass a turn over into Chris. I wouldn't say this is the most excited I've ever been. I mean, I got to meet Scott Lingrell, so that was exciting. But again, we are in Chris's turn. He does drain for 2. Joe will lose 2 Darth Vader's Emperor's Enforcers from his deck. If you're okay. Let me think. Let me think if this is a way to say this. This is the equivalent of Bill Kafer winning Worlds. Oh my god, Scott, you did not just say that. So we are back. Ray coming down in front of the sister and Mara. I do know, like the Alderaan operatives. That's what they actually do. They actually we just had a tournament occur in that, and they actually had the Rando Cal play all the buys, so that was kind of cool. Solo also is going to come down. Solo is going to go to the Ewok village, so we're not going to see a battle from Chris here. Interesting. So briefly checking in on our other match. Still seems rather close. Again, like I said earlier, Paul is going to be putting a lot of cards on the table. Right now, Paul has a plethora of cards on the table. Kieran has 24 cards in Life Force. Paul has 19. Both have 8 cards in hand. So the real big difference is that Paul has a lot of cards on the table. He does have Celebration active, so he is going to be retrieving. The announcement won't be until we start the finals. Okay, Joe will drain at the Hoss site, making Chris lose 2 Hear Me Babies hold together, both from reserve decks. So this goes 2 5s off the top. Prophecy will move. Joe will try to cancel Ray's game text. And Chris will lose a force to keep Ray's game text intact. So this is one way. I mean, Joe's doing a lot. He's doing 3 points of damage plus the vicious on each of Chris's turn. Chris is only doing 3 points of damage as well. And based on the life force, you got to think that Joe is happy taking 3 cards. Like, as long as the damage is fine. Joe is sitting rather nice, so Joe is checking his deck, and here comes a Grand Moff Tarkin. Nice little way to correct your destinies if you need to. Okay, and Joe will initiate a battle here, so here we go. Ray still is able to swing. Dark Jedi lightsaber is going to swing at Ray. Surprisingly, he's swinging that lightsaber. I assume he figures that Chris has the Hojix in his hand. Draws a 5 for Destiny. And a 3 that will hit Ray. Ray will retaliate, swinging at Tarkin. Draws a 4. So Tarkin will be hit here. And draws a 3. So, well, Chris does have some tricks left in his deck. But first things first, Tarkin is hit here. Let's see, will Chris retrieve? Chris will not retrieve here. And there's a "you are beaten" from Joe. So the battle's ended. Um. Okay, so Tarkin's lost, but more importantly, Ray's on the table or off the table, and Chris only has 1 card in his hand. So you think he's just going to be able? You think he's just going to drain for the 3, and then pass turn? But yeah, with Joe using the "you are beaten" there, the solo game text doesn't come into play. So even if he has the Hojix, even if he has like some sort of trick to lessen the damage, the Ray is just gone. So yeah, there's no Jedi resilience there. So well played by Joe, thinking ahead. Joe will draw a few. He draws a couple cards. He draws one card actually. He'll lose to Visage and he'll pass turn. So now we go into Chris's turn. Again, he's only got one card in his hand, so let's see what he can do. But before he activates, he's going to use Solo to play Rescue in the Clouds. Interesting. So he's going to try and get another card into his hand, something to give himself something to do this turn besides draining for 3. So he activates. He activates saving 1. He'll drain for 1. Drain for 2 at the Moisture Farm. Now, if Chris has like the Chasm Walkway, he can go there. He can drain for 2 there. It would satisfy for Ultimatum. Okay, Joe will lose. He'll lose a card from hand. He loses the Emperor. And an 8th brother. Both of them from hand. Actually. Okay, let's see if Chris decides to drain at the Ewok village. Now, if he drains here, that really makes it so that he doesn't have anything else to do this turn. He would only save 3. Okay. Oh, this is what he's going to do. He's going to Odin Nestler. It is 6, though, so he has to pay 6. It is successful. He's going to move Luke, Yoda, and Chewie over to Malachor. Oh, he's going to keep Yoda at the farm. So Luke and Chewie moving in front of the sister and Mara Jade. Again, Joe only has 3 cards in hand, so not a lot of tricks for Joe's benefit. Ultimatum is in effect now. So let's see what Joe does now. Joe draws a card from the top of his reserve deck with the 7th sister. And we're in Chris Kelly's draw phase. So he'll recirculate and lose 1. Loses from the top of his deck, so he loses that Odin Nestler Karma that we just saw him play. So we do know that the top card of his deck now is a 6. So regardless of who he swings or fires at, he'll hit them. Yeah. Wait. Oh, you're right, Bill. So we don't know. The 6 is the it's the fifth card up, I believe. Bill, you're making things hard. Yeah, that's okay. But we are on Joe's turn. Joe will activate here. Bill always slacks me. Bill always like does this to me. Like, Bill is here. I'm here. Heck, I even lost to Bill in the Texas Mini World's top 16. So yeah, like, and of course, I was gonna say, and of course, Bill is like beating me in fantasy football. Like, I have to win this week, or I get the punishment. So, like, Bill's in what, 9th, and I'm in 10th. I mean, we both suck, but yeah. Okay, we move on to Joe's turn. He does activate. He activates 12, saving 2. Interesting. Drains for 2 at the defensive perimeter. Well, drains for 3, but it's limited to 2 because of Ultimatum. Chris will lose Leia of Alderaan and a Clash of Sabers, both from his reserve deck. Chris is saving 1 card in his hand. Don't get me started about last week. Freaking Darren Waller has like the game of his life, and I still lose. Thank you, Patrick Mahomes, for sucking. Joe commenting that he was expecting the other farm, not the original farm. Well, I know football's going on right now. And there's the 9th sister down to the farm. Yeah, you can't play episode 1 locations. And Tarkin down in front of Yoda. Gonna stack a card on top of Yoda. Bill, I will say this: if you're not watching football right now, it looks like you're going to be safe this week. I get the punishment. I will say I plan on accepting my punishment with grace and dignity. So, back to our game, we see initiation from Joe. Chris did lose a card to the Inquisitor effect. He lost a Obi-Wan with lightsaber from the top of his reserve deck. And there is another destiny from far more frightening than death. So Joe's getting 2 destiny. He draws a 2. And a 3. So it's 7 total. So that brings him up to 16. There's only going to be 1 destiny for Chris. Right now, he's only standing to lose Yoda. He draws a 4. That brings him up to 10. He is still down by 7, though. Or he's down by 6, sorry. Math. Okay, Joe will lose the sister. And there goes the Yoda for Chris. So, big turn of events there. And Joe will lose the Grand Inquisitor from the top of his reserve deck, and we move over to Chris's turn. Chris only has 8 cards left in his Life Force, 1 in hand. Joe has 13 in Life Force, 1 in hand, so getting down to the nitty-gritty at this point. Chris will put the card back. He's got 4 cards in his Force pile, so he'll drain for 1. He's going to initiate battle for free here, so I think he's forgetting that part of the game text of his objective. He does save 5 cards in his Force pile, or his reserve deck, so yeah, he totally forgot that he gets to initiate battle for free. Okay, he fires Luke's lightsaber at the seventh sister. He's going to hit just because he draws a 6 there. Draws a 4, so that's 10. She's going to be hit, forfeit 0. No other tricks from Chris. Joe draws. Joe draws a 6. So, unless he draws a 1 here, yep, Luke's going to be hit too. Chewie gets to fire now. Chewie will fire at Mara. And that's a 6. So Chris is just drawing 6s like it's his job. Well, he does say the best thing in Star Wars, the best feeling in Star Wars is to draw a 6. So it kind of makes sense. Draws 11 for the weapons hit. There goes Mara. She's hit. Hey, I'm not the one who said this. This is all Chris Kelly. There's a 4 for Weapon Destiny. So, yeah, Chewie's going to be hit here. Yep, Chewie is hit. He's going to be forfeit 0. I will say this, though. Drawing a 7 when you're trying to sense or alter something and you have, like, Yoda or the Emperor out, not good. So, there's a 5 for Chris, so that brings him up to 19. And a 5 for Joe, that brings him up to 14, so he's down by 5. Or down by 4. Again, math I can't do. He does lose a card to I Feel the Conflict. Okay, so Joe is down by 4. He's got the Gick, though. And we go into Chris. We end Chris's turn. He loses a card. He loses a Oda Nestor combo from his reserve deck. He's only got 7 cards left in his life force. So, and Joe's going to be able to drain for 5 this turn. There is a Rescue in the Cloud from Chris. Again, we only got a few more games left until we do the drawing for the T-shirt. If you want a chance at winning one of the 2 T-shirts, send an email to streaming@starwarsccg.com. Don't got a lot of entrances, so all you need to do is send your Twitch handle, so that way I know who you are. And we'll get you you have a chance to draw into a T-shirt. The T-shirts will be of the new ID9 Probe Droid card, so they look kind of cool. No, it's a .com. It's literally the streaming one, and I have it up. Oh. Okay, I am dumb. Yeah, it is .org. I'm stupid. Bill is correct, as usual. I got billed again. Maybe that's why not a lot of people have entered. Ugh, I feel so stupid today. Yeah, please re-enter. That's my bad. I will say this, the 2 people who actually did send it to the right address, good on you. Yes, I know, I'm sorry. So, good job on Joe. Joe wins by 9. So, Joe has 33 cards in the lost pile. Chris has 45. And then we will be back for game 2. So get your emails sent over to the right address, and I'll be back for game 2 whenever our players are ready. Okay, welcome back, everybody. We will be starting up game 2 here momentarily. Looks like Joe is ready. Looks like Chris is ready. So here we go. Okay, and here we go, everybody. Game 2 of Justin, or not Justin, of Joe and Chris. And Chris is playing. Oh, so it looks like we have the exact same matchup. We have a Hunt Down V versus a HITCO. Again, if you haven't entered for the T-shirt, please do. The correct address is up on the screen now. So, should have a few entrances now. And here we go. So Joe is starting the exact. So Joe is playing HITCO. He's playing Walkling Like My Father Before Me, and Twilight is Upon Me. Chris is playing the exact same start as Joe. So this is exciting. Okay, got some grabbers being pulled. Normal Star Wars CCG stuff, you know. Grab your grabbers, play some HITCO, play some Hunt Down, play almost the exact same deck as your opponent. So let's see what little bit of a difference is here. Make these decks each of their own. Okay, there's a Rescue in the Clouds for Joe. Okay, and everybody still has time to enter for the T-shirt. Send over your entrance to streaming at starwarsccg.org. We will be drawing the winner after the completion of either this game, well, after the completion of the semifinals. Believe, yeah, Kieran and Paul are still going on, and they're still on game 1. According to the chat in that one, Paul only has 6 minutes left on his timer, so. Oof. Okay, here we go. Chris getting out Vader down to the castle site. This looks familiar. There's the Vader's lightsaber. And Vader goes over to Malachor. So a little bit of some differences from the last game. Vader going to Malachor instead of Hoth. Both are Drain +1 sites. So let's see what Joe wants to do here. Joe will activate. He'll use Twilight Upon Me to go get Yoda's hut. So again, Chris is threatening a drain of 3 next turn. Joe would lose 1 to the visage damage. Thank you for the update, Chris. Again, Joe is our number 2 seed. Chris is our number 8. Believe. Let me check really quick. I'm not sure what Paul and Kieran were. Paul. Okay, thank you, Bill. Joe is our highest seed left, so, and the only member of the top 4. Okay, here comes an LA Jedi carrying that weapon. A little bit of protection against cards to steal lightsabers. Okay, will Joe come down with something to do, something to fight against that Vader, or will he just spend his turn allowing Chris to drain? Ooh, excuse me. Okay, here comes Luke down to the Ewok village. So I kind of like this better than going down to the farm, because at least with the Ewok village, you have some protection against the prophecy moving. But we shall see what happens. There's Luke's lightsaber. He does get it with the like my father before me, so. And a coward coming down for Chris. Give a little bit of protection against retrieval. Battle plan for Joe. Now, if he can get out a Anakin Skywalker V here, move the prophecy after Chris drains, they'd both be doing the same amount of damage via drains. The important thing is, though, Joe currently is losing the visage, where, I mean, they're both actually losing the visage, so the damage would be the same. There's the drain. Joe losing a Grimtosh, a Rebel Leadership, and a Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight, all from his reserve deck, so he doesn't lose anything from his hand there. Chris still has 6 cards to work with his turn. Okay, Vader's going to move over to the castle. Interesting. Chris will play Point Man, so that will allow him to take a card into hand from his reserve deck or from his force pile. He does have to put a card back onto his use pile, though. Interesting that he moves Vader to the castle. Now, Joe could play Simple Tricks and Nonsense to block any drain there, but now Joe is flipped. So he would be able to do some shenanigans with his objective. Uh, really interesting play from Chris. I mean, this signifies that he doesn't have any characters to come down and battle Luke. That's a lot of information. This is giving a lot of information to Joe. Chris will also have to lose to Visage this turn. Okay. Puts the point man back. um, I don't know if he's playing it. That would be amazing if he is. Okay, there's the loss to Visage. He will lose. Oh, excuse me. He loses P59 from the top of his reserve deck. Chris still has 9 cards in his hand. Yeah, and that's why, like, this. I think this is like he's trying to force something right now. Yeah, he could go to Hoth. I don't know. Like, okay, there's the secret plan. So, Chris is anticipating a retrieval from Joe here. Okay, Joe will take the top card of his reserve deck into hand. He's got 13 force to work with this turn. He's got 8 cards in hand. I want to say he's going to try and reinforce with Luke after draining. He puts a card back on top of his deck. Interesting. And there's the drain of 2 at Endor, so Chris will lose 2 cards. Loses a force field from the top of his reserve deck and a masterful move combo, so important card losing the force field. The prophecy does move. So now Chris only he saved 2 cards and he's only activating 9. I don't think he's going to I don't see him draining this turn. I don't see spending 3 to drain for 1, but I could be wrong. Here comes Yoda. Yoda down to the JCC. He's probably going to move. Probably going to reinforce with Luke here. Oh, yep, you are correct. That is my issue. I left that up from the last one. I am completely sorry. I'm just having a rough day today, you know? It's Sunday. Got up early. Bill reaming me out like left and right. Okay, Joe's going to draw. He does move Yoda. He does use the once per game text on Yoda to move him over to the Ewok village. He's going to draw some cards. I want to say, yeah, he's going to draw up to 12. I believe he's going to save the 2 cards. 1, this keeps him out of range of Monarch, and 2, this signifies that he could... Oh, he's going to retrieve. I was going to say, if he saved 2 cards, that could signify that he has a Clash of Sabers in his hand. I know Vader is immune to Clash and Sorry, so... there is the retrieval from the objective. He's going to attempt to retrieve a Rebel leadership. Let's see if Chris decides to stack a card on I Feel the Conflict. There is retrieval, and Joe will lose. He loses an Oda Nessler combo from the top of his deck. That could be a big loss. Oh, you are welcome, sir. Still no update on the other match. Kieran is still up on time by a lot. Looks like Paul is currently sitting at 4 minutes left. Okay, here comes the 5th brother down. 5th brother has a lot of power. Yeah, I agree. That's what it's looking like there, Bill. But it's going to come down to the time. Even if he loses, I want to say Kieran's only going to win by a few. So we shall see. Stacks a massive move condo on Yoda to attempt to cancel his game text. I don't see Chris battling. I mean, it would be good to get rid of the Yoda, but you run a massive beatdown here unless you come down with another character. And I think that's what Joe is anticipating, that he's just going to stack a card on Yoda to make sure he gets the additional destiny. Yep, and that's exactly what's going to happen. He moves Vader over, and now we're going to have a giant fight at the Endor or the Ewok village, just like in the movies. I mean, if I seem to remember the movies and everything, Luke was chilling at the Ewok village, enjoying some time with the Ewoks. Vader came in, talked some stuff about his mom and everything, and they threw down really hardcore. And Chris is going to draw a few cards here. Okay. Chris will lose an Emperor Shuttle to the Visage Ping, and we move into Joe's turn. So let's see what Joe's going to do against that Vader and the Inquisitor. And here comes a Padme. Padme's going to cancel Vader's game text. Now, she's not immune to a saber or anything. No spoilers, please. I have yet to watch that. I think it's going to be like one of these nights I watch that and the original holiday special when I drink a plethora of what's it called? Jameson. Chewie and Solo coming down as well. This could be a free battle for Joe. And Chewie can fire, Luke can fire. There's 2 Destiny, and you get the additional attrition bonus from Padme. So, I hope Chris has the Gick. This is looking as good as like my week against Brad Iyer in fantasy football. So 27 to 13, down by 14 before Destiny. So let's see what Joe can do here. Or let's see what Chris can do, I mean. I'm sorry. There's additional Destiny to attrition. Vader has no game text, but okay, he's gonna shoot. He's gonna swing his lightsaber at Luke, and there's a blaster deflection. Chris will cancel, or Chris will grab the blaster deflection, so no other lightsaber is gonna be available for Chris. Yeah, this could be really, really bad. Luke's gonna swing. He's gonna swing at the fifth brother. That makes sense because you want to make sure you hit him. Draws a 6 for Destiny. He should have went after Vader, but he didn't know his Destiny, so that makes sense. And a 4, so yeah, the fifth brother's going to be hit. Now you take a shot at Vader. This game might be over. Like Joe and Chris might be done with their match before we get to before Paul is done with his first game. I'm just saying. Yeah, this could be rough for Chris. We are on Chris's action. It looks like Chris taking his time deciding on what he wants to do here. So here's my question: who do you lose if you're Joe? I kind of think you lose Yoda. You got to keep Padme there just in case there's another Vader coming down. Okay, he plays a far more frightening than death to add a battle destiny. So this might clear 2 characters then. Yeah. Chewie's going to fire at Vader. He draws a 3. He needs a 4 to hit Vader now. Draws a 1. Does he have a Jedi's levitation to take it into hand? He does not. So Vader's going to survive, at least. Yeah. I agree 100%, Justin. Action moves over to Chris. Does Chris have anything to do? He does have 2 cards. He's going to force ball. He's going to force push. Okay, this tells me he has a Gick. Okay, so this is going to say that Vader is going to stick around, but he also tells me that he has a Gick here. So action is back on Joe. And here we go, Battle Destiny. It's a 5. Luke is not in the battle, so he does not get the +1 from Like My Father Before Me. It's Pi. Yeah. So you clear the Luke. Pi times 2. I love double Pi. It draws, so okay, Chris does draw a 9 for Battle Destiny, so that's going to get rid of multiple characters. I think you cleared the Luke, or not the Luke, the Yoda and the Chewie. You keep the Solo. Yeah, you keep the Solo. And you keep, and yeah, it's the Yoda and the Chewie here. Okay, Chris will stack a card. So now, and we gotta see who Joe loses. Joe has to lose first. Yeah, he definitely can't. Now he definitely cannot lose to Padme. Padme is. Yeah. Okay, there is the gick for Chris, so. Okay, so Joe decides to lose the solo and the Chewie in that battle. Joe is deciding on whether or not to grab the gick. Um, I think if you're Chris, you can't stick around. You got to vacate. Um, and Joe will draw a card. He stacks a card with Like My Father, puts a card back onto his force pile with Like My Father Before Me. Yeah, that battle was really good for Joe. He forced out the gick. It looks like Paul and Kieran are finished. Do we have an update on Paul and Kieran's game? Like I said, it looked really close. It looked like Paul was going to win, though. But again, based on time. Okay, Paul won by 22. Wow. I'm going to say this. I know Paul isn't watching, but if Paul wins Worlds, I'm never going to hear the end of it. Like, ugh. Okay, so I know Casey was looking for somebody to, who, if he wants, if somebody wanted to stream the Paul and Kieran last their second game. I guess he's a little out of it. Okay, but here we go back into this game. Fifth brother coming down. Um, Now again, Vader doesn't have a game text here, but what is important is he still has the lightsaber. And Joe doesn't have a blaster deflection here, so he could shoot at Luke here if he wanted. Okay, stacks a card on Yoda with the Inquisitor effect. Let's see if Joe wants to let Yoda's game text be canceled here. Okay, Joe will lose a card. He loses the Anakin Skywalker V from his reserve deck, so Yoda still has a game text. And there's an Anakin to take a Death Star 2 sight into his hand, so he's going to take out a 0 from his deck. Yeah, you definitely don't want any little pesky zeros in your deck. But I think if you're Joe, I think you do exactly what you did last turn. You fire at the fifth brother. You just add a Destiny to attrition. So I think if you're Chris, you still want to go after Luke. Yoda might still be there after this, though. So, I mean, it would still be a drain of 2, though. Oh, and there's a Jedi lightsaber coming down onto the fifth brother. Interesting. Being that Joe only won by 9, this isn't a bad position to be in for Chris. Okay, here we go. The other game, Paul won by 22, Scott. Okay, fifth brother's going to swing at Luke. Again, no blaster deflection available. Draws a 2. He needs a 6 or higher. And he draws a 1. Luke is not going to be hit there. Okay, now its back action is on to Joe. Let's see what Joe wants to do here. Yeah, Vader's not immune to sorry about the mess at this point. First, Joe's going to add a destiny to attrition with Padme. Action back over to Chris. Chris is going to... He's going to fire at Padme. I like this more than firing at Luke. That's going to be a 4. And a 1. Barely hits Padme. Joe now has to lose a card, though. So he loses the Death Star to Chasm Walkway. I like that because now you're limiting Chris's force. So... Luke should swing. Luke should swing at the fifth brother. This way you... Yeah, you gotta swing at the fifth brother here because, I mean, you're still getting... You're gonna get rid of Vader either way. Thank you, Lenny. Oh, there is a Luke drawn for Weapon Destiny. And being that Joe just drew a 5, the only 0 out of his deck, yeah, he could have easily went for Vader there, but he went for the sure hit. He hit the fifth brother. And Chris is going to play More Frightening Than Death to add a Destiny. So he's getting 2 Destiny draw here. Joe has no response to this. No sense, nothing to counter that. So... Yeah, I stand corrected. We might see some... might see 2 characters going away for Joe. And I think if you're Joe, you lose the Yoda. Don't get me wrong, Yoda's really good, but Luke is far more important, especially if you can get the Vader off the table. Action is back on Joe. Yeah, Yoda is immune. I want to say his forfeit's only 7, though, so... Yeah, but do you have more Luke Sabers? That's the other issue. Yes. Yep, you are correct. Okay, that's a good point there, Bill. You retrieve it, have you a second Luke. You go get the saber back. Yeah. And being that we already saw Chris play his Gick here, action still is on Joe. He's not... Okay, here we go. Battle Destiny draws a 4. These are going to be... The total Battle Destiny is going to be +2. That's a 5, so that's 9. So +2, so yeah, that's 11. Brings him up to 24. Oof. Joe draws a 7. So they tie in battle damage. And Vader's gonna go away. Joe does draw 4 for attrition, so looks like Yoda's gonna stick around. So the objective, if you, with the dark side objective, you get a +2 to all your total. And Chris loses Vader. And again, that was a Chris Kelly battle, so yeah. Thank you, Bill. I would click on it. I would click on the objective, but clicking on the objective actually might interfere with the gameplay, and I don't want to do that to the players. So Chris is going to draw some cards. I wouldn't be surprised if Joe places the Walkling out of play to retrieve. I mean, he could have a second saber, but we shall see. It doesn't look like he wants to do it, so Chris will lose a Windmills Accelerator plans to the Visage Ping. And we're moving into Joe's turn. Joe's got 13 force to work with, so I'm expecting him to drain here. There's a Rescue in the Clouds first, so he wants to look at some of the cards that he has in his reserve deck. Oh, yeah, I agree. He's got two sabers. I just don't know where the second one is. Okay. No, you can't. It has a dot, so you can't do that, Joe. Looks like we're going to have a... I know that. I'm just saying. Because Joe might be interested in watching these afterwards. So, Joe, no, you cannot retrieve the saber if Chris puts it out of play. You cannot deploy the second one. I'm doing it for the effect, Chris. Or Bill, or whoever the heck you are. I thought Starships were in there too. We are. I hope we're getting a ruling. You know what? I'm gonna post really quick. Question in Joe and Chris's game. There. According to Scott, weapons too. So Okay, thank you for the answer. This is why we need the TD be able to post in there. I will say this is eating a lot of clock up, so I don't know where Chris is right now. I will say I just pinged both players in Slack. I don't know. I doubt that they're looking right now. So can't seem to find the TD. Okay. Okay, so here we go. Luke's lightsaber is going to be attempted to retrieve with the objective. Will Chris put a card onto I Feel the Conflict? He's going to first make Joe lose one. And Chris will stack a card on I Feel the Conflict. So the Luke's lightsaber is out of play. So let's see if that comes into play later on. Joe will draw a couple cards. He does reinforce the site, though, so he's got Ahsoka and Yoda down on the table. So he's got two Jedi, so Yoda's +3 is still in effect. Scott with the best responses all weekend. I love it. Huh. Neat. Okay, so Chris will use his objective to search for a card. Currently, Chris has 28 cards in Life Force, 5 in hand, so that brings him up to 33. Joe, on the other hand, has 19 in Life Force and 13 in hand. That brings him up to 32. So really close. Okay, there's the Grand Inquisitor going down in front of Yoda and Ahsoka. Yeah. Him going down with the Grand Inquisitor there is a little surprising. I know he's trying to mitigate some of the damage from the drain, but he needs to start thinking about doing his own kind of damage, and attacking is not going to be the right way. He's already used 2 of the cards to get additional destinies. I don't know if he's playing a third or not, but we'll see. He does use the Inquisitor effect to stack a card on Yoda. Yoda's got 3 cards on him, so we could see the Destiny 5 cards. I forget what it's called that allows you to... It goes used and you put a card... you put all the hatred cards back into your deck. Joe did lose a card. He lost a Rescue in the Clouds to keep Yoda's game text intact. And there's an Aura Singh with Blaster Rifle. She can only shoot Yoda at this point. I've been searching for you. I've been searching for you for a long time, or something like that. So he's going to put down those characters. He's going to put down Aura Singh, and he's going to put down the Grand Inquisitor, and then he's going to pass turn. So that mitigates the drain. But I don't know if I like that, because this again could get dicey. Ahsoka's immune to Aura Singh. Now Yoda's not, but you do need to draw 7 to hit Yoda. So, but we'll see. And there's an Obi-Wan and a Lando coming down. Now things could get interesting. So right now, Joe's getting 2 Battle Destiny. He's up in power by 10 already before Destiny. And he's got a lightsaber. He's going to swing at Aura Singh. Goes for the easier hit. Draws a 3. That's the second Padme. He's got 2 Padmes in his deck. And he draws a BB-8, so he's got pi times 2. Double pi. And he's got a sorry about the mess. Uh-oh. Our scene goes away, so Chris concedes. Joe is on to the finals. Well played by Joe. Congrats, Chris. Great showing, man. You played really well. Getting to the top 4. So, yeah. Great job. Joe, congrats on getting to the finals. And again, congrats to Chris on an entire tournament well played. Like, Chris went undefeated day 1, set himself up really nicely. Didn't really play. I mean, he played well yesterday, and he set himself up to get into the top 8. So, great play, great job by both players, and I'm excited to see Joe in the finals.